Hey everybody, welcome back to another interview. And for this G interviews, we got the one and only FDA who recently hit 40,000 subscribers. Super uh, cool about that. But anyway, luckily he was able to do an interview and we live streamed it. And this is the video version where all the random stuff that isn't really related to the interview is cut out. So hope you guys enjoyed the interview and let's get to it. Did you recently hit 40,000?
I did. I hit 40,000, I think, a day ago. I think it was actually yesterday that I hit 40,000. So
Congrats,
that's
man.
definitely a large milestone for me. I'm very, very happy about that.
Indeed. Congrats.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay. We're gonna start off with the fan questions because they're here to
Yeah,
see you.
obviously, yeah. Happy to answer.
Okay. So this one's from Godzilla Fan 2014. What's your favorite Godzilla era and why?
Ooh, okay, okay. So, as a kid growing up, getting into the Godzilla franchise, I originally watched the '98 film, and subsequently I watched the Millennium Era films. So this was, versus Megagears, Godzilla 2000, GMK, the Kiryu Saga, and Final Wars, and I loved that era personally. Whenever I would go to watch the Heisei or the Showa era films, it's like, I love them, but I guess the Millennium Era being my first ever films, I had a really, really good connection with the Millennium Era films. But then as the Monsters released, I really, really enjoyed the design of Monstrous Godzilla and his personality, and obviously the designs of the other kaiju. But if I really had to pick one between the Millennium Era or the Monsterverse, it's really close. I'd probably have to go the Monsterverse.
Okay. This one's from Dragonzilla. What's your favorite movie in the MonsterVerse?
Ooh, that's. I think whenever I'm talking about this on the stream, a lot of people know this. The King of the Monsters. Absolutely love it. Ghidorah, my favorite kaiju in all the Godzilla media, from every single year. Any incarnation of Ghidorah is my favorite. And I mean, I just love what Michael Dougherty and Bear McCreary did with the soundtrack and whatever I did. Love the kaiju designs. I mean, King of the Monsters, in my opinion, while it does have its flaws with the humans, I will say, I think, in my opinion, if you love that movie, you can look past that and just enjoy the beauty of the kaiju designs and the fights. So.
Okay. This one's from DJ Gojira. Favorite Godzilla suit?
Ooh, favorite Godzilla suit. Okay. I think I gotta go Kiryu Goji. I got it, man. I gotta go Kiryu Goji. Kiryu Goji has been one of, if not tied for my favorite Godzilla incarnation. And I mean, I love the way it works, how it like flows in the Kiryu Saga. Definitely the Kiryu Goji suit.
Okay. This one's from SMGOS. Are you a fan of Ultraman?
Only Ultraman media I've seen is Ultraman Rising, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I've been considering getting into more Ultraman styled content, so like Zone Fighter, Ultraman, whatever. But at the moment, not really. But I plan to look forward into Ultraman content.
Okay. We got a couple from Stole Us. Favorite
All
official Godzilla game?
Official Godzilla game. Not too many. Let's see. There's a PS4 game, Godzilla Unleashed, Godzilla Save the Earth, or I think it was called, or I can't remember. I used to watch Best in Slot play it when I was watching like all these gaming YouTubers as a kid. Godzilla Unleashed was a lot of fun. I never played it personally, but I absolutely loved watching it. The PS4 game's kind of slow. But currently, if we're talking about at the moment, I guess it's Godzilla Battle Line, because we don't have very, very many options. We have Godzilla Defense Force. And, I mean, Giga Bash was not really like a Godzilla game, it just has Godzilla DLC. Yeah. So I guess Godzilla Battleline at the moment, but overall, probably Godzilla Unleashed.
Okay. Next one from him. If you can add one kaiju into the Monsterverse, who would it be?
Space Godzilla. Instant answer. Space Godzilla. Give me Space Godzilla right now. If I could do the next Monsters film, I would somehow integrate Space Godzilla into the next Monsters film. That would be absolutely amazing.
Okay. And favorite kaiju roar.
Favorite kaiju roar. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is this like including Godzilla or like just any kaiju?
Well, it says kaiju. I was just gonna say all of them.
Okay.
So everyone.
Ooh, I'm trying to like think. I'm trying to like sort through like Pokemon cards here, basically.
I would say Monster vs. Ghidorah. That one's
Monsters
pretty good.
Ghidorah's is very nice. Don't get me wrong. Monsters Ghidorah's is really cool. But this might be a weird take, but it's pretty recent. But -1's roar, kind of like a distorted version of the original one. I love the -1 roar. It's so intimidating. It's great. I probably have to go -1. -1 Godzilla's roar.
This is from Godzilla Fan 2014. What is your favorite villain of Godzilla and why?
Ooh, I think I gotta go Ghidorah on that one. I don't care which incarnation, it's gotta be Ghidorah. Usually, Godzilla's always needing, some help, some backup to fight Ghidorah. Ghidorah's just like this unstoppable force. I mean, look in the Showa era and Destroy All Monsters. Godzilla fights alongside Anguirus, Mothra Larva, Kumanga, Manila, Gorosaurus. I think Veron, Rodan. I believe I don't think I'm missing anyone there. But I mean, Ghidorah he's just so badass. He's so powerful. And then we go to the Heisei era. I mean, he gives Godzilla a run for his money there too. And then obviously in King of the Monsters, my favorite incarnation of Ghidorah. I mean, Godzilla, he needs like 2 amps to be able to kill Ghidorah. Obviously fighting with Mothra. So yeah, definitely Ghidorah in my opinion.
Okay. This was from Kanyu Kaiju Fan 09. What inspired you to make Godzilla content on YouTube?
Okay, so originally, this channel was made purely for Roblox. So I used to play this game on Roblox called Kaiju Universe a lot, and it was basically a Godzilla game. And I used to play, I was bored whenever I was playing the game, so I was like, you know what, I'll start a channel. I'll start live streaming. So live streaming was like the main thing I did, and as I ended up completing basically the entire game, I kind of got bored of the game. So I started to branch out into like, actual just like Godzilla content, like, like the movies, the shorts, whatever, And what's funny is I started doing that at perfect time because maybe a couple months later the game gets taken down. So obviously I will definitely credit my friend Godzilla guy, forever for that because he actually ended up, being that last little push, step away from the Kaiju Universe stuff and getting to actual Godzilla content. And that basically saved me because, I mean, the game that got closed down for months and then it came back, it was just like not even a fraction of how good it was back then. So yeah, that's how I got into Godzilla content. So.
Okay. Will you be at G-Fest 2025?
That's a pretty difficult one. I really enjoyed my trip to G-Fest this year. It was awesome meeting a bunch of different fans. The dealer's room was great. Got some nice figures there. Obviously, meeting the Kong actor was probably the highlight there. Not even G-Fest specifically. I mean, going to Chicago and seeing the the Field Museum, the Suit of the T-Rex, and all the dinosaurs, whatever. That was fantastic. But the way I feel like G-Fest was advertised to me, I believe it was a bit overhyped, in my opinion at least. Because what I really took away from it was that, I mean, the main part of G-Fest is the dealer's room where a bunch of figures are super overpriced, so it's kind of like you're just going in there and wasting a bunch of money. Don't get me wrong, G-Fest is a lot of fun, meeting a lot of people, but I'm undecided if I'm going next year. I'll leave it at that.
Was G-Fest this year your first one?
It was my first one, yes. It was my first one.
Okay. Do you have any tips on becoming a big kaiju content creator?
Ooh, okay. So, honestly, while this might not pertain to that exactly, the way I ended up getting a following from my channel was doing something original, right? So, for example, when I first started the channel, I was the only person playing Kaiju Universe, here we go again with that game, who ended up playing as, this character. And, a bunch of people wanted to see that, right? So, when you're making a YouTube channel, you gotta do something that no one else has done. You gotta find that, your own thing there. If you can latch on, get your own thing, you should definitely see some success. Now, while it's not the only thing that's required, obviously, you want to be like an energetic person. You want to have that how do I say this? Sort of like that YouTuber voice. You want to have that charisma. Sort of, you want to engage the audience, have like hooks into the video to get their attention. And while that hook brings them into the video, you want to keep their attention going with the video, the information, whatever. You don't want it to just be like an information slop fest.
Yeah.
So you want to have some jokes in there and whatever. So I think if you can get something original that no one else has done, make it your own thing, and obviously have that charisma, I think you can actually very well find some success on YouTube.
Okay. This one's from Destroy a Guy. Can you rank your 5 favorite Godzillas?
Ooh, okay. Number 1, I'd have to go the Dohei Goji design of Monster vs. Godzilla at number 1. Number 2, I'd have to go Kiryu Goji. SOS against Mechagodzilla doesn't matter. The scar doesn't really add anything to it. At number 3, I'd probably go Shin Godzilla. I love the weird detailing into him, all the cracks on his skin, whatever. He's just like a walking, sort of like this is a walking natural disaster that's always in constantly pain, doesn't even know what's going on around him. Number 4, I'd probably have Heisei Godzilla. I mean, it is just a classic suit, man. You can't not have Heisei Godzilla in the top 5 for designs. And number 5, number 5 is pretty tricky. I'm kind of looking over my figures here on my shelf here. Number 5, I'd probably have to go -1. I thoroughly enjoy -1's design, with the jagged dorsals and just his personality in the film, just completely ruthless. So that'd probably be my top 5.
Okay. This one's from Beepcat. Have you watched Kamen Rider?
I have not watched Kamen Rider. I've heard about it. The funny thing, playing the unit in Godzilla Battleline, but no, I have not watched Kamen Rider. Now, if it's good, maybe I'll give it a watch, but at the moment, I have not.
Okay. This one's back to Destroy a Guy. What is your favorite Godzilla movie?
Favorite Godzilla movie? Oh, -1. -1, 100%. It used to be King of the Monsters, but -1, I mean, dude, I remember going to that theater, man, because I didn't know anything about the movie before. I didn't get leaks. I didn't get any spoilers or anything. I go in there, opening scene with the Odo Island Godzilla attack. I mean, my jaw was on the floor. I mean, there were some scenes in the movie where I was just left there speechless. I mean, that movie is, like, if you want to watch a Godzilla film, I would, as your first one, -1 is the Godzilla movie to watch, in my opinion.
Okay. This one's from Kaiju King. What got you into Godzilla?
Okay. So, before I was even a Godzilla fan, I was a huge dinosaur kid, basically. Music. I would always go to the museum with my parents, running around, looking at the skeletons, whatever. And as my love for dinosaurs grew, I ended up watching the Godzilla 1998 film because and I thoroughly enjoyed it as a kid. That was my first introduction to Godzilla ever. And as me being the kid, I was like, this is pretty cool. So, and then after watching the 98 films, started watching Millennium Era films, and there we have it. Dinosaurs to Godzilla.
Okay. I think that's our last fan question. We're gonna go into the questions I made, which are mostly about your career.
Alrighty, yeah, go for it.
Why is your name FDA?
I knew this would be a question. Okay. So weird backstory. So as I mentioned, this channel originally was for Roblox, and well, I didn't exactly know what the hell to name my channel. So now the backstory of my Roblox name, which is actually the basis for the channel name, is so back when I was a kid, I used to play this game on Roblox called Jailbreak, and I wanted an alt account to get more cars on because basically it was kind of just like GTA on Roblox. Basically, you could buy cars and whatever. Yeah.
Really good.
So what I did is I didn't know what to name my alt account, so I smashed my hands on my keyboard and I got the username of FDASAEFWAS. Now, as that account developed, I started to use it more often. It became my main account. And then, back in 2019, 2020, I started playing Kaiju Universe. As the years went on, the Manila thing happened. I was like, you know what? I'll start a channel. I'm bored. So I didn't know what to name it. So I named it the first 3 letters of my Roblox username. Now, there is actually a problem with having the FDA name. Because, I haven't exactly told many people this, but I'm probably in the near future, nearing the next couple of weeks, probably going to have to actually make a change to the channel name. Because I was ended up talking to a YouTube staff member, and if I end up, keep growing and whatever, potentially even get larger than the actual FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Because, if we all remember what happened when COVID-19 hit, they were constantly uploading daily. Yeah. So that's, if they want to look up information about, let's say, a potential pandemic, and they see a Godzilla channel pop up, that's going to be a bit of an issue. So I might have to change the name in the next coming weeks, but yeah, that's how I ended up sticking with the name FDA.
Okay. Do you have any tips for making specifically the battle videos?
Ooh, okay. So when I first started making the battle videos, I actually took a lot of inspiration from Goji Center. I loved the way Goji Center would go. He would start it off with the category, break each individual thing down. I love the analysis he did. So really, for those who are like, oh, you're just copying, we gotta take into account there's so many different people that do these versus battles online. I mean, even look at the versus battle, the death battle channel. I mean, this thing, it started so many years ago doing this style of content. So I mean, it's kind of straightforward, this versus battle stuff. There's not too much you can change about it, how it works. To change it to make it like super like your own creation. It's kind of like if I had to make like a suggestion, try and take inspiration from multiple different creators to make it to sort of your own thing, if you get what I'm saying. Not exactly downright copy, that's we don't want to copy people, but take some inspiration from here and there, combine it all together, and see what happens. So.
Okay. If you could make any kaiju movie, what would it be?
Ooh, okay. So one of my very, very underrated kaiju, in my opinion, is Anguirus. I love Anguirus. Anguirus hasn't gotten any love recently. I mean, in King of the Monsters, we saw his dead skeleton there in Godzilla's lair before he got blown up by a nuke, and then in Singular Point, I mean, he didn't exactly have a major role there, did he? But, I feel like if I had to make a Godzilla movie, it would be a direct sequel to -1, and it would honestly kind of be like a Godzilla Raids Again, because I mean, we've never had like another Raids Again. I mean, -1 basically kind of a reboot of the franchise, really going back to those original roots of 54. So you know what? Why not just follow it up with another reboot, basically, and Raids Again featuring a new design of Anguirus. So that's probably what I'd do.
Okay. This one's a little bit more personal. How did you meet Godzilla Guy?
How did I meet Godzilla Guy? It's a funny story, actually. It all goes back. Every little detail goes back to Kaiju Universe, which is super funny. So the game, the people who made the game, Promedio Games, we were in their Discord server. I was chilling in the VC with one of the owners, and we were actually talking about some information he was telling us. And we ended up DMing on Discord. And at the time, surprisingly, I actually had a larger channel than Godzilla Guy back then. So the way we started is, we actually ended up talking, wanted to stream together, and I was down because, he was a really cool guy. And over the days, weeks, months, developed into a very close relationship where we're basically best buds. So yeah, all leads back to Kaiju Universe, where that's how I met him. So, yep.
Okay. What do you think the next MonsterVerse movie should be?
Okay, so I think I typed something up about this. I was like, is the next MonsterVerse film going to be like a crossover or whatever? I hope it's not a crossover. I don't think we need another crossover movie. We already had Godzilla vs. Kong. We just had GXK. If we're going to have another crossover movie, it's kind of going to take away from what GXK was, in my opinion. It's like if people are going to realize, oh, it's just going to be crossover, basically the same plot line of, oh, here's this unstoppable threat, these two kaiju need to team up. I think it's going to be a bit useless. In my opinion, what the next MonsterVerse film should do is be a Godzilla solo film, but it shouldn't take place in the present. It should take place in the past. As you know, we're all familiar with the Monsters timeline. It's, you know, not exactly very coherent. There's you know, there's spikes up and down, you know, having to fill in the holes and gaps and whatever, you know, fan theories and whatever. It's like, you know, it's like, I mean, we don't exactly have a continuous Monsters timeline that we can all follow. So I think we really need a solo Godzilla film of him in ancient times to fill in some of the lore.
Okay. This one's from a friend of mine. Are there more doors or windows in the world?
More doors or windows. I gotta go windows, 100%.
Okay. Most underrated Godzilla movie.
Ooh, most underrated Godzilla movie. Okay, this might be a controversial take. I think King of the Monsters from 2019 is very underrated. I remember when the film came out, it got a lot of hate. And I was one of those people. I was like, what are you guys talking about? I think this movie's great. I feel like when it comes to King of the Monsters, you either absolutely love it, adore it, or you just you don't really like it. Like, it's not a film you'd go rewatch. Personally, I'll rewatch it any day. I love it. I think it's a very underrated film. Because one of the main issues with a lot of people like to bring up is, you know, the corny jokes and whatever. In my opinion, I can look past that. I can look past all the dumb human plot line to get to what we're really there for, the kaijus. So I think King of the Monsters is honestly 100% an underrated film.
Okay. Why did you choose Manila as your character?
Man, like I said, everything ties back to Kaiju Universe. So, the way I even started my channel, like I said, you know, playing as this one character. This one character happened to be a Manila you could get to level 1000. And I was the only person doing it at the time. So, you know, when I made the channel, I was like, you know what? A good mascot would be what I'm literally playing as, would be a Manila. So that's how the channel mascot ended up becoming Manila. So.
Okay. Why did you create your channel?
Why I created my channel? Well, I believe I sort of answered in the previous question, but I guess I'll go into more depth about it. Why I created it, so, like I said, playing this one game, and while I was doing it, you know, it takes a very, very long time to level up this character that I was playing as. So I got bored. So actually, I remember when I first made the channel, started streaming, just live streaming, 0 viewers, and then it became 1 viewer. My one friend would always watch me. I would literally talk to him by myself, just him and I, just playing while I'm streaming. And over time, that ended up becoming, you know, 1, 2, 3, 10, 100, and ended up blowing up. I was like, damn, okay. So yeah, I created the channel because I was bored playing a game, and I needed someone to talk to while I was playing the game. So that's how I ended up creating the channel.
Okay. That's kind of all the questions I have written down.
Alrighty, maybe we can take some last second questions from the chat. If anyone wants to throw some at me, feel free to do so, and I'll happily answer your question. For example, Viridiano Lucio, how did you like Godzilla? Well, you know, starting as a kid, loved dinosaurs, watched 98 films, my dad put it on for me, and boom! Went from 98 films to the Millennium Era, and I absolutely fell in love, because Godzilla is basically a giant radioactive dinosaur. And as a kid, loved dinosaurs, so.
Okay.
When did you marry Godzilla Guy? We are not married yet! But we will. Yet. Don't worry, we're working on it, Gonna have to put a ring on bro's finger. What's your opinion on Monstrous Rodan? I think he's really stupid, but I love him. I love the design of Monstrous Rodan. He's great. I wish we had more stuff for him. You know, he kind of only appears in King of the Monsters. I wish he, you know, had a little cameo in Legacy of Monsters or GVK. But what is your favorite Godzilla figure? I guess I'll say that of actually the ones I own, and it'd probably have to be the Gravity Beam version, Haya Ghidorah. That thing is absolutely massive. I'm looking at my shelf right now. It takes up like maybe half of the width of the entire shelf. But I mean, I adore it. It was perfect. You know, promotional material might make it seem that it's a bit too gold. Once you get it in person, it looks completely fine in my opinion.
Okay.
If you were a monster kaiju, who would you be? Plus, how would you do in the world? I think the obvious answer for wanting to be a monster, it has to be Godzilla. And which version of Godzilla would probably be Monstrous Godzilla. Cause like, I mean, who's gonna stop me? Who's gonna stop me? It's like, you know. But what would you do in the world? To be honest, bro, I would probably just vibe, bro. I would just chill. I'd be like just land, doing absolutely nothing. I'd be a tourist attraction, bro. But
Okay.
yeah. How'd you get that Manila? Sorry if I'm saying it wrong, but where'd you get the figure? The one in my profile picture. Funny story is my friend actually made a profile for me back in the day, and it used to be very, very similar. It was like an actual cartoon Manila with the wide eyes. But Godzilla guy, he was like, you know what? That one doesn't look very good. Let me grab one of my Manila figures. This is actually the Mezco Toys Manila figure that came with the Destroy All Monsters set. And he took a picture of it, put some wide eyes over it, same color scheme of my old profile picture, and gave it to me. And there we go. So yeah, I actually don't own the Mezco Toys Manila figure. I own the Gutsy Bond Manila. So yeah.
Okay.
What's my opinion on the Haya versus SH debate? Haya is currently steamrolling SH. I mean, SH is absolutely in the ground right now. I mean, they are trembling. Now, personally, I saw their Haya GMK. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick that up. But then my friend gave me a deal, $60 on the SH Heat Ray GMK, which is sitting right next to me, and I absolutely love that thing. SH has some very good figures, but Haya at the moment is completely steamrolling them. If you were to become an Ultraman monster, yeah. I mean, initially reading that question, man, I don't know too much on Ultraman whatsoever. I mean, like I said, I only know Ultraman Rising. I guess if I had to pick something from that, I guess I'd be Gigantron, if that helps. So, yeah.
Well, while we're waiting questions, what was your thoughts on that fan art I sent you?
Let me go ahead and take another look at it. I think it's great. Only thing I would have loved, what I would have rather had, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love fan art, you know. It's absolutely great. It makes my day every single time I see it. Obviously, you know, we got Godzilla guy's little thing over there.
Yeah.
What would have been funny is, you know, he has his menacing little Godzilla over there. He's looking down at me, and then what it would be is I'm looking up at him as like some helpless, cute Manila just looking back up him. But I believe, you know, made the Manila into more of a Godzilla design. I mean, shit, I'm fine with it. I don't mind it at all. But I think it would have been more fitting if I was just a little Manila sitting on the ground just looking up at him. So, but overall, love it.
Okay.
What is my favorite film from the Heisei era? I think that's pretty obviously Godzilla vs. Destroyer. Close second is Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla. But Godzilla vs. Destroyer is very, very good in my opinion. Which is better, Gamera or Gorgo? I gotta go Gamera. I still need to watch the Iris movie of the Heisei era. I've only seen the one with Gauss and Legion. So.
Yeah, Legion's the best one though.
Legion's the best one?
Yeah, Iris is kind of overrated.
Really? I mean, I've heard Iris is the best one, but I guess I'll have to give it a watch and then decide which one I like more. If Haya makes a Destroyer figure, then SH done. Oh, 100%. Alrighty. Well, I think we can wrap that up on a good note here. Lizard Boy, I appreciate you for having me onto the channel.
Yeah.
And for those watching, if you haven't already, make sure to go subscribe to his channel. You know, he only has 278 subs. We got to get that sub count up. So, you know.
Indeed.
But again, I appreciate the offer for the interview. And like I said at the beginning of it, you know, I don't care what your sub count is. I'll happily do an interview. I love doing interviews with the fans and whoever, man. So
Okay.
appreciate you having me on. And I appreciate you guys in the chat for staying, watching. Hopefully you learned some interesting stuff about me and appreciate the questions that you guys asked me. So yeah. If you have anything you'd like to say.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, of course, man. Anytime.
I do have one more thing to ask.
For sure.
Okay. I've been trying to do this for a while.
Right.
But do you mind asking Godzilla guy to do an interview at least someday?
Yeah, I'll happily, you know, shoot him, you know, a little invite to your channel, I guess, you know. I'll
Okay.
ask if he can, if he'll be willing to come on. Because, you know, I think this is definitely worth the time. So, yeah, I'll definitely go ahead and ask him.
Okay. Thanks for coming. Thanks for actually accepting us. But yeah.
Alrighty.
See ya.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on, man. See you guys.
What a fun guy, everyone. What a. I'm gonna end this interview so I could go make the video one, so I actually get views. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed staying and having your questions answered. I couldn't do all of them because you know it's Probably a little time crunch. Anyway, as always, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.